There's a couple things I stopped doing over the last year. I stopped collecting new toys and merch from various fandoms that I grew up with and loved. And then the second thing I did just months ago, I got rid of it all. It may seem like a strange decision, and I want to talk about it for my channel. You may remember, if you go back on some of my older videos, you'll see my previous studio. My previous studio, this wall was covered with all sorts of Marvel and DC superheroes, Star Trek, even a little bit of Futurama. I got into the whole YouTube thing watching Critical Drinker, but then Nerdrotic and so many others associated with Friday Night Tights. And they have the merchandise and stuff in the back, the things that represent the fandoms that they grew up with and loved. So I kind of collected everything I owned in here, started adding a few items, and at some point I realized I don't want to collect this stuff anymore. The franchises have been so thoroughly and utterly circumvented by the Marxist dialectic that I'm almost ashamed to display the symbols of the former superheroes because they might be understood in the context of the Marxist lie instead of what they really originally stood for. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting anyone else should get rid of their stuff, but I just wanted to explain why my studio is different and my thinking on it. A lot of YouTubers have stopped collecting the new stuff rather than feeding money into these companies, and yet I felt like I was, in a sense, wearing around a brand name that was only pitching the Marxist dialectic now. I have this incredible Captain America costume that I have for Halloween. I'm very proud of. But after that whole disaster with Bucky and Bird, I feel like, I have mixed feelings about it. Of course, I still have my costume and I will wear it at Halloween and kind of see what others' reaction to it is. But they have so desecrated, destroyed, and spoiled the whole fun and enjoyment and the quality and the moral of the stories that you feel awkward even being involved with it. In the long run, I decided that the best thing I could do would be to get rid of the stuff completely, not just not display it, but I donated to the Salvation Army store so that they could sell it. This I thought was a great solution because I had acquired this stuff over many, many years that I did not any longer want. And what the Salvation Army does and stands for is absolutely contrary to everything the Marxist dialectic is pushing. So allowing them to flip the merchandise, allowing them to do it in a way that it gets the money for the Salvation Army worked out. I kept a few items. I have a small handful of stuff now on my fireplace mantle that were sentimental because they were given to me by friends or family, but the bulk of the stuff that I had collected that came from, garage sales or where I'd picked up or in other thrift stores, things I'd gotten over the years, I went ahead and donated it. So I went with the various backdrops of the Earth seen from the moon. I have a library. I have a little nook with the picture that looks like a window to a church. I have this sort of sci-fi bridge one that gives it some ambiance here in the studio without promoting any specific brand of any of those franchises that have now become completely contrary to humanity and civilization.